What's up, Abraham Lincoln? It's been 6 days since we spoke. If we're talking like normal length of time, that's not that long. But if we're talking Zealandism days, that's a lot. That's like 12 videos that, we were not able to share together. And there's a lot of shit that happened in those 12 days. And we're going to talk about it. But first, what happened to me? Because I know that's what you care about the most. In those 6 days, I drove 1,200 miles in a U-Haul from Florida to New York because we were able to get a place with kind of bigger room that we could expect to be in for a long time in New York. Able to make the shift. And so we went out and cleared out my storage unit down in Tampa, brought that stuff up to New York. And for the first time in a decade in my life, I can expect to stay in a place for basically longer than a year. For the last 10 years, with school and grad school and then my traveling job afterwards, I've been moving basically every year. And finally, we are in a place where it does not look like that's going to be the case anymore. And we have an amazing stream room. That's the other reason we did this move. Amazing stream room. I mean, look at the size of this bad boy. That is a beefer right there. That is all-American A-grade USDA beef. And we've got a TV up over here. We got a couch over here, which is currently buried in stuff because I'm waiting to get my desk in so I can kind of slap together here. And then, right now I'm on a folding table that I got at Home Depot. In my camera's on a box. So it's a bit, this is MacGyvered, right? This is kind of jerry-rigged, but the vision is there. We're going to put up the lights, the cameras. We're going to be able to do watch-alongs on that couch, streams from here. I am beyond excited for all of the things that we are putting together, for all of the things that we're going to be capable of. But I'm also pissed. I'm pissed off because if I had to pick 6 days to not be able to talk about something, I picked the wrong 6 days. Okay, and it's never going to happen again. I've already put together, by the way, like this setup, so even when I'm traveling to film videos that are going on the main channel, we're still going to be able to record Zealandisms and get them uploaded. So it's never, ideally, at least for a long time, until I retire in the Galapagos Islands to ride sea turtles or tortoises or whatever they have going on there that makes it so special. I don't know, everybody talks about the Galapagos Islands. Until then, we will not have that sort of gap on the Zealandism channel again. We will be able to sit down every day and talk about whatever nonsense is going on. But so much nonsense has happened, particularly with stories that I'd already talked about. And two, I want to talk about right now because they happened a little while ago, but I didn't actually get to talk to you about them because it's crazy shit. The first one is Bayer Leverkusen, right? Obvious. If I had $1 for every time that I got tweeted at by Bayer, about Bayer Leverkusen situation, I'd have at least $5. All right, come on, I'm not that famous. Really, seriously, how many people did you think actually tweeted at me about it? But I do appreciate people that tag me and stuff to allow me to be able to see things because I discover awesome things through that all the time. But the Bayer Leverkusen thing is insane, and it's still criminally underappreciated, right? Nobody, even though people are starting to kind of pay attention to how late they're scoring, nobody is actually appreciating, in my estimation, how ridiculous what is happening is. In Football Manager, in FM, a game I've played for 10,000 hours, a game that I made my career out of making tutorials about for years, I have never had the season that Bayer Leverkusen's about to have in one of the 3 biggest leagues in Europe. I've never done it. Never done it on Football Manager. Now, maybe if I played 30 years in the future, I'd be able to pull it off. But Xabi Alonso's not playing 30 years in the future. He's playing with a team that's never won the league. Ever. And they've already won the league, obviously. So I guess that's a misnomer. They hadn't won the league until this year. But this is, without exaggeration, one of the most insane things to ever happen in sports. That is the level that it needs to be appreciated at. And if you need catching up on the lore, Bayer Leverkusen is currently in line for an unbeaten treble, right? I'm talking European trophy. I'm talking German Cup. I'm talking Bundesliga. Ahead of Bayern Munich, who made the Champions League semifinal, right? And got right at the end because Real Madrid just has voodoo magic. Like Joselu got rejected by Stoke City. You put him in a Real Madrid uniform, the guy turns into prime Karim Benzema without the beard, okay? And then you have Borussia Dortmund, who's in the league. They're I don't even know where they are. They're 5th right now. Looks like they're stuck in 5th going into the final match day. They're 5th in the Bundesliga, and that team's in the Champions League final. The Champions League's a different beast. That sort of shit happens sometimes. But that says a lot about the quality of the league that this team, Bayer Leverkusen, has not lost in. And they have turned the ridiculousness meter up to 11, right? Because it just for some reason, if you missed it, their second leg Europa League semifinal against Roma, they did it again. Josip Stanisic scored in the 97th minute again. Look at it. I mean, if I was writing this script, it would sound like one of those Disney movies where the same girl hits the last second shot for 5 games in a row. Like, that is what's happening. Not only is that happening, it is happening on the tails of something that I already feel comfortable describing as one of the most unbelievable things to ever happen in sports. So, what is this? I don't know, dude. Like, I legitimately have no idea how I'm supposed to react about this. Or like react to this, other than the fact that I need to keep talking about it. They weren't even down 1. They were down 2 in the 82nd minute. And then they got an own goal, right? They just turned on that hoodoo mat. It's like Real Madrid's been giving us this little drip feed. Bayer Leverkusen's just mainlining the whole supply in one season. Like, if you just took all of Real Madrid's magic voodoo and just put it in one season, put it in the biggest vein in your arm possible, you'd light up like freaking Iron Man, right? That's what Bayer Leverkusen is doing. Xabi Alonso's got the smug look of somebody that's actually won a fiddling contest against the devil. That is what it looks like we are watching. And the fact that they did it again, the fact that they just seem to be making it more and more ridiculous. I mean, the fact, like, it's Josip Stanisic multiple times in the 97th minute. Josip Stanisic has, I got to find the other game. Was it, no, sorry, that was 96th minute. How dare I? Stanisic scored in the 97th minute against Dortmund on April 21st. The guys scored a 97th minute equalizer to keep their unbeaten streak going twice in the last month. Same guy. He's not the only one to score past the 95th minute. Right, to prevent the unbeaten season from being quelched. Right, this is unbelievably hard, what they are attempting to do. Right, and the fact that it's in the Europa League is the only weapon that people are going to try and discredit them with. Right, but to be perfectly honest, 2 of the 4 teams that they were unbeaten in, right, made the Champions League semifinal. So how much are we really, like, they just didn't have to play Man City or Real Madrid in Europe in order to pull this off. They had to play Bayern Munich twice, right? They had to play Borussia Dortmund twice. They had to, like, Liverpool was in the Europa League. I thought they were great. They didn't even get past the freaking quarterfinal or whatever they lost to Atalanta in. This is, have I said anything? Have I given any opinions? I don't even know. This is just greatness. This is just complete and utter greatness. And I've been bursting at the seams for like 5 days to talk about the level of greatness that is being achieved. It is rare. This is the sort of thing that people will look back at in 60 years. If you happen to be alive by then, first of all, congratulations. Hope you're taking your meds. Hope your knees don't hurt, right? But if you're alive in 60 years, this is the sort of thing that the people alive then that weren't around to witness this will be looking back at and going, what the fuck happened? And they'll be old enough to curse, and they won't remember this. You know what? Well, I guess my 14-year-old cousin's cursing, so it's really not that crazy. And it's not the only absolutely batshit crazy thing that happened while I was gone. There's a bunch of other things that happened as well that I would have talked about if we had videos, but, you know, who has the time? And we're moving, like, this is the only video I'm going to make where we kind of go over the things that happened the last couple of days, because there's a lot of shit I want to talk about that's happened in the last 48 hours. But the Groningen Roda JC thing, if you didn't watch that initial video, it's about when you celebrate promotion too early. And that was a matchup between Roda JC and Groningen, where Roda JC won their match. Groningen was drawing until the 96th minute. They score a goal. Roda JC starts celebrating promotion. They see that Groningen scores their goal. They stop celebrating. The stadium announcer erroneously announces that another goal has been scored by Telstar, the team Groningen's playing. Roda JC starts partying again. Then it comes out that the goal's been overturned, even though that never actually happened in the match itself. And Roda JC basically celebrates being promoted automatically 2 straight times, only to find out that they are not promoted. And that set up a ridiculous final day where Groningen would play against Roda JC. And if Groningen won and Roda JC lost, Groningen would be promoted automatically. So you already know where this is growing, like this is going. Groningen won. They won 2-0. They won the match deservedly. But I got to pour one out for Roda JC here because I understand. I don't know. Like, this is the Dutch second division, by the way. I don't know if Roda JC is the better team. I'd be lying to you if I said I'd ever watched one game, right? All I know basically about these two teams is this story. And I just feel bad for Rota JC. Now, you got to be happy for Groningen. But the funny thing is, they got to celebrate that goal against Telstar. What they didn't know at the time that it was happening is that Rota JC was already celebrating promotion. Now, that's celebrating promotion. Like, I realize I'm not a professional athlete. I'm a professional eater, maybe. Professional talker, probably. They got to have one life skill because I'm not good at math. If I was in this position, if I was Rota JC, I would be ravished, ruined. Now, they're not done. They're going into a playoff. I'd be stunned if they got out of it. Let's be honest. I would be stunned. The final part of the playoff is you have to play a team from the Eredivisie, as I understand it. And, I mean, come on. Right, Rota JC, they celebrated. There were players being carried around on fans' shoulders for getting promoted, and they didn't get promoted. That's crushing. And then you find out, like Rota JC couldn't get a softball in the final match of the season, right? You have to play Groningen. And if you lose that match, you are going to the playoff, the notorious Russian roulette of the playoff, right? But how are you supposed to get yourself up for that, right? That'd be one of the great achievements. I'd be so proud of that team, impressed by that coach and that team if they turned around. I don't blame them at all for being absolute. You have to spend a week marinating in it. Every night you go to sleep, you relive that promotion celebration. It was there. It was over. But it wasn't. It was the 95th minute or whatever, Groningen and Telstar, but it was not over. Right? Bayer Leverkusen and Real Madrid must have sneezed in Groningen's direction, and they cooked up something purely magical. And I'm going to be watching. Right, I'm going to be keeping track of what Rota JC is able to do in the playoff. I hope for their sake that they're actually able to go up. But I just wanted to put it out into the world. Like, I can't blame this team. Full credit to Groningen. But you're going into this game. I'm a big believer in the mentality of teams going into games. Groningen's playing with house money. Right, there were moments for every single player and coach and fan for Groningen during that match against Telstar in that stoppage time, because they're not Bayer Leverkusen. There were moments where they're thinking about the fact that they blew it, that they just gave up their opportunity to play for promotion in the next match, that it's over. They had to marinate in that. And when you marinate in the despair, and then you get out of it, you get that second shot of life. I mean, it's so much easier. You're playing with a rocket strapped to your ass. Where Rota JC marinated in the celebration. They got drunk on the success, and then they had to do calculus homework for 5 hours. Like, that's just not going to work out that well. So we're rooting for Rota JC here, but that story's conclusion was that Groningen did end up winning the match. Of course they ended up winning the match, and they end up taking second place on goal difference. Them and Willem 2. Willem Dafoe. Sorry. Them and Willem 2 are going up the Eredivisie. Those are the two important things that I missed in those 6 days that I wanted desperately to talk about, because I'm a deeply emotional being. I'm bursting at the seams just to talk to you guys. But I'm back, baby. Let's talk some shop. I don't know I didn't know what word to put there.